All right, guys, so I just got done putting kind of my initial group down there with this rifle on paper at 100 yards. What you might see splayed out here in front of me, if not, I'll give you a B-roll shot, is a bunch of different bipods. Today, I'm going to be telling you about each of these different bipods. We're going to be shooting groups with each of the different ones to see if there's any difference at 100 yards with our ability to get good impacts, or I guess put together good groups. Now, the group that I just shot down there, I'll show you a picture of it, is absolutely awesome. I'm not saying that because I'm great. I'm saying I think I got lucky. And I don't think any of the other groups are going to represent what that one does. At any rate, I know the rifle's zeroed, and I know that it is capable under the best possible circumstances of shooting a really tiny group. I'm going to be shooting 3-shot groups, so go ahead and flame me in the comments if you want. I only brought a certain number of rounds with me. If I shot, 5-shot groups, I'd be completely out of ammo. So I'm doing one group from each of them. It's going to be a 3-shot group. It's really more about telling you the pluses and minuses as I see them for each of these different bipods, not so much the groups, but I'm hoping that some of the groups will show some of the weaknesses perhaps of a few of these bipods. So, all right, I'm showing you the whole target at the start here, and some people always question me, so I like to show the first target. So this shot here was actually on the paper already when I brought the target from home. It was my most clean target. So anyway, I marked that off. And then first shot, I was holding here, and my very first shot went all the way down here, and I marked that one off. And then I made my correction, and I put a 3-shot group right here. I went and I held the corner of this tape, and it's hard to see, but there's actually 3 shots all basically in the same hole. That being so good, we're going to throw that out, and we're going to start with the Atlas Cal when we go back there and put a group. And I've got 6 or 7 different bipods, and so I'm just gonna, I'm starting with the Atlas Cal, and then I'm just gonna go right down the line. Now, some of these are Picatinny and not Arca. I've added a Picatinny rail section underneath the bottom of the chassis here, just barely behind where the Arca will be. I'm gonna start with the Atlas Cal, 3 shots, because we threw out that super tiny group. I'm expecting this one to be a little bit more representative of me and the rifle, which is usually closer to 3/4 of an inch. So we'll see what happens here. And I'm gonna go pretty quick through these, and then I'll come back after we do the shooting and we'll talk about each of the bipods individually. I'll give you a review on each of those. So here we go. So it's gonna be top left dot. Yep, definitely better representation of me. Okay, it's like about a 1-inch group. Oh, I've still got more in there. So now we're just going to swap bipods. I'm going to go right on down the line, and we'll shoot the next group. So Atlas Cal, and here we've got the Accutac. This is the something 4. I can't remember exactly what it's called. All right, next dot over on the top. Okay. Well, that baby clamps on there nice and tight. Okay, there's that one. I'm just going to stick with the Arcas first, and then we'll switch to the Picatinnies. So now this is going to be the MDT Ckyepod. This is the double pull. I should have staged these correctly before I got started. Top right dot. Okay, I'm gonna reload, switch to the Picatinny's, we'll keep shooting. All right guys, here we go with the first of the Picatinny attachable. This is your standard Harris bipod, like 20 something years old Harris bipod. So here we go. This is going to be, let's see, next row down on the left. Starting back at the left, second row down. Alright, practically had to disassemble the daggum bipod on the Harris to get it off of there. The quick disconnect thing kind of locked up on me. I couldn't get it off of there. And you're already seeing an issue with the Magpul one, aren't you? Alright, and I'm quite certain there is a quick release or a quick disconnect or something for the Magpul, but I don't know. I don't know for certain, I don't have it, so we're just not using it, obviously. All right. Okay. Woo. Got that tight too. Okay. See if we can get anything done with the Magpul here. Next dot down, which is going to be the one with the orange tape in the middle. Okay. That was sort of as expected. Switch to the next one here. What we got next? This is the Tier 1 Picatinny bipod. Okay, there we go. Getting the full experience of what it's like to attach and detach these various bipods. Got that one really tight too. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be the green one on the green dot on the right, just below that previous shot that I showed you before. I wish they could all be that shot. Bad. I'll load up 3 more shots and we'll get to this last one here. Alright, this last one is from UTG. It is their UTG Pro, under the gun or something like that. Probably the most complicated of all of them, but pretty well built. This way, I guess. That just a little extra snugging. Make sure this is nice and tight. Yep, it is. Okay, as tight as I can make that, you guys. It's got some twist and play in it for sure, but let's see what we can do here. Okay, and this one is going to be the down on the box test box, this is going to be the top left dot down there. Ooh, man. You got to reposition every time here. All right, done shooting each of them. Let's go and take a look at the groups. I'll give you my analysis of that, and then we'll get into the positives and negatives of each of the bipods. Okay guys, here's what we got. So we've got the Atlas up here first, then we've got the Accutac, and then we've got the MDT, and then down here we've got the Harris, and here we've got the Magpul, and then we've got the Tier 1, and then down here we've got the UTG Pro. They all look pretty similar, so I'll give you actual numbers, except for this guy. This was definitely bigger. That was the Magpul. But I just wanted to show you the difference, and I will get actual numbers up on there for you. But, you know, the Atlas, remember, that also was from the Atlas this morning, and that was from the Atlas this morning, which is pretty normal. That's probably a 3/4 MOA group. That's probably a 1-inch group, but that's 3 all in one hole. So it's somewhere in between. Yes, I'm trying to make the Atlas sound better because it's the one I use all the time, dang it. All right, but I'll get these measured up. I'll get some numbers back up on there for you, and we'll continue on with the video. All right, you guys, so all done with this, and I'm going to go into now as just kind of giving you some pluses and minuses that I see in each of these bipods as I was using them. So let me get kind of the groups out of the way so that you kind of know which ones shot the best, which ones didn't. So the way I did this was, if it was, you know, let's say a 0.55 and change group, well, that went up to a 0.6 group. And then if it was below the 0.55, say 0.54 something, I rounded down to the 0.5. Hopefully that makes sense. So with the Atlas, it ended up being a 0.9 MOA group. Remembering that there's a one hole group down there that I also shot with the Atlas. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, I use the Atlas on a regular basis, so that's always been my choice. But anyway, the Accutac was next. So the Atlas Cal was the 0.9. Okay, Accutac right here. Shout out to those guys for sending me over this for this review. Thank you guys. The Accutac was a 0.6 MOA group. Okay. And we've got the MDT Ckyepod, which is up here on the front of the rifle right now. This is the double pull. This is the one that I typically use when I do center fire competition matches, like PRS type matches or whatever. The MDT shot a 0.6 MOA group. And then we've got the Harris, the old school Harris. This shot a 0.7 MOA group. And then we went to the Magpul. This shot a 1.7 MOA group. And then the Tier 1 bipods. Tier 1 shot a 0.5 MOA group. And finally the UTG, the Under the Gun Pro, shot a 0.7 MOA group. So the outlier here is the Magpul. Let's start with this one. I will say that no, it's just bad, you guys. The Magpul is not made for precision. Okay, there's way too much slop and play in this thing. I've got everything tightened down, cranked down as much as I can, and you can hear it. You can see it in the rifle in the video where it was just moving all around. I did the same, I gave the same effort trying to get a good group with this as I did with all the others. All the others shot very, very similar, anywhere from 0.5 to 0.7-ish MOA groups. The Magpul was almost a 2 MOA group, 1.7 MOA group. simply because this is not a precision tool. Okay, so if you're doing precision rifle type stuff, guys, I would stay away from this. If you want a Magpul product that's inexpensive, something that you're going to mount on the front of a, you know, a DMR rifle, shoot, I wouldn't even use it for a DMR rifle, but just your standard run-of-the-mill AR, and you come out to a bench like this and you're only shooting at 100 yards or in, this would be fine. Otherwise, guys, this Magpul, I can't recommend it. All right, so with that one out of the way, now I'm going to go in down the line. So the Atlas Cow, now I said I've been using these for years. This has been kind of a gold standard for me. I really like the durability of them. They're made very, very well. There's no slop or play in them. Legs, you've got just these ball detents in here for these little collars. You pull it down and you can extend and contract them back down, shorten them back down is the word I was looking for. You can change out the feet from rubber feet to these spiked feet, which is a nice feature that I like. You've got the button here, of course. This is kind of a patented deal for them. There's 5 positions, you know, from full all the way forward, flat to back, and then a couple of 45-degree angles here in between. Pretty nice. You've got cant built in, but you can tighten it with this lever right here. I swapped out for a quick release button up, well, not a quick release, but an ARCA attachment up here from Really Right Stuff. Some of them I use the, not on any of these. Yeah, maybe the MDT one is an Area 419 attachment. Usually I have either a Really Right Stuff or an Area 419 attachment for ARCA up here. These are great bipods. I'll put the prices, of course, up on the screen for you guys after the fact, but I can definitely swear by the Atlas Cal, as do a lot of people. The groups that I shot today, again, not exactly representative. I would have expected this to be right down there in that 0.5 to 0.6, 0.7 with the other ones. I put in ultimately a larger group with this one at 0.9. But also I shot a 1-hole group with this that probably measured 1/4 inch to start out the day. So take it or leave it. I think what we can all agree on is it doesn't really matter which one of these you choose. You're going to be able to get roughly the same type of consistency with each of them. It just comes down to the features. So that's the Atlas. The Accutac. So this sucker is beefy, you guys. These things are overbuilt, and really a bipod like this, this is their BR4, I believe. Something like this belongs on an ELR rifle. It's super wide, but you know, obviously you can make the Skypod super wide, and that's a benefit. But a few of the things here, it comes with its own ARCA quick detach lever here, big oversized lever, which I do like. Gives you a little more purchase on it as opposed to some of these smaller ones. Like I'll talk about my quick release here on the Harris in a minute that gave me some troubles. But these things, you've got cant into here where you can tighten with or loosen with this lever to allow for your cant adjustment. The interesting thing on these is like you have to pull down. It's spring loaded, so you pull down and then you can angle your different angles. So kind of neat there. On the feet, you just simply pull them out and you've got each of your graduated spots here, and then to go down you can press the button, it'll go all the way down, or you can press it and go one at a time if you want, whatever you want to do there. So really good, overbuilt, very feature rich on these guys as well. They're very popular. The group that was shot was a 0.6 MOA group, so you're not having any stability issues with this guy. You can change out the feet. You can get these little sleds that the ELR guys put on them. Pretty nice bipods. They definitely don't give them away. Again, I'll put the prices up on the screen, but that would be a good choice as well. Next we switch to the Picatinny attached versions. Now this is a Harris, and I don't remember which Harris. I just know that it's like very old. It's really old. This was the first bipod I ever bought. I bet it's probably 20 years old, maybe more. But you've got your spring loaded, and some people really kind of complain about the spring loaded on these guys. I don't know. It's louder, I guess, but I mean, you look at the group that I shot with it, 0.7 MOA, the stability is not an issue. And if you go ahead and swap this out for a quick detach lever here on your mounting option, you can take it on and off just as quick as some of the Arcas. Slide it down a rail if you need to, if you have other positions. Likewise, you can change these feet out for spiked feet in terms of how you extend them after you deploy it. You can just push the lever here and they extend all the way down different heights, and of course you can just push the button here and adjust that wherever you'd like. Really no complaints other than that it's kind of loud, and you know, you definitely, by the time you buy all the accessories for a Harris, you're already into the price of some of these others that have a few nicer features right from the get-go. So Harris is a good option, but I think it's kind of a wash. For me personally, I would not choose this because the thought is, well, you're picking it because it starts out at only 120 bucks or something like that. But again, after you buy spiked feet and you buy, you know, a different type of a mounting system to connect it to the rifle, you're already into you know, 250, 300, 350. As far as the price is concerned, you might as well have just gone with a different bipod that's going to get you more features. Anyway, so not bad, not great. It just is what it is. It's been around forever. It does work. If you choose it, fine. You're going to be fine with it. But I think there are some better options especially when it comes to competition type bipods. So there's that. Harris, then the Magpul. Yeah, we already did the Magpul junk. Sorry. Magpul makes good stuff. Otherwise, like, you know, if they would have just, I think, just stayed in their lane. But when they started making the precision rifle stuff, like, I haven't been a fan. There was a video I did when their chassis first came out, that the chassis was fine, but it was priced like crazy high, and I had some complaints about some things on there. It's like, you know, stay in your lane is all I'm saying, Magpul. Like, Magpul makes great other things, just not the precision rifle stuff, in my opinion. But so we threw out the Magpul. Here's Tier 1. This is from a company over the pond. These guys sent this to me some years ago. I've kept it because it's just so simplistic. It's nice and lightweight. Again, it's built very well. You're not getting a lot of slop. My one complaint about the Tier 1 is that I've got this connection point cranked down where it adjusts your cant or whatever. I got that tightened down super tight, you guys, and it's still pretty loose on the cant, and I don't like that. I want to be able to just have my rifle set nice and solid and have nothing move on me without some significant force. You got your QD built in for your attachment there, no issues. You've got your push button on the side that is fully closed or fully open, nothing in between. On your length, you can simply push the button, they shoot out, and there's little holes, little detents in here where you can adjust your length in different spots if you want to. They kind of click in. So again, basic. You can change out the feet on these as well. Really basic, really clean, really simple. Obviously did pretty well. It shot the best group, 0.5 MOA. Not bad. I'm going to pause till this helicopter goes away. Next one is the UTG Pro. All right, now most people know under the gun products as fairly low end, fairly cheap. I definitely have some complaints. The one thing that it is that it's cheaper, and it's overbuilt. I mean, it's heavy. It might be one of the heaviest ones. It's on par with, like, it might be heavier than the Accutac, actually. The main issue here, guys, is this connection point. It's like a ball head down inside of here, and it can go all kinds of different directions. And man, it wants to. Like, you can see this thing, like, it just, and you can tighten it and you can crank it down, but I feel like because it's like this tiny little ball head in there, that it definitely has some more play in it. Also, we're talking about, you know, being able to deploy these in different angles. You've got this tiny little detent in here. It's like it's not the right size for a finger, so you really got to get in there. You got to push it pull down on the lever, and then you can adjust things to different angles. And again, push the little tiny button, pull down, and then you can adjust. It's not something you're going to be able to do quickly, kind of on the clock, so to speak. Also down here on your lengthening of your extension on your feet, you've got this little twist lock that you have to unlock, and then these kind of like, it's not just a simple pull out straight. You have to almost twist to a very specific spot and then pull out. And it doesn't easily lock until you turn it back in. Like you have to twist, pull, twist, and let go. And then if you want it to lock in that position, you have to relock the collar up here on the leg. If you were the type of guy that just wanted to come out and throw this on an AR-15, maybe you're going to leave it on an AR, and you're never going to shoot past 100 yards. You're not in the precision rifle game. This might be a really good choice for you. I think it would last an awful long time, and there are some good features to it. But man, for kind of the precision rifle game that we play, I don't love it. So now some of you have been screaming at me in the comments already, or silently in your head, you forgot about the MDT. I did actually forget. I'm not sure why I forgot, probably because it wasn't right here in front of me. The MDT shot a 0.6 MOA group. Oh, the UTG, in case I didn't say it, shot a 0.7 MOA group. The MDT, I got a 0.6 MOA group with it. I didn't save it for last, like save the best for last. I didn't save it for last for any particular reason other than I just simply forgot. Let me start with my complaints first. Main complaint is that when you splay these feet out really wide like this, there's nothing sharp really sticking into anything, and you get kind of slippery. Whereas if you stand those legs up just a notch further, then the bottom of the spikes actually dig in, and you can't move that or slide it nearly as well. And I like that. I like having the spikes like that. So my downside would be when the feet are splayed way out like that, it's kind of slippery. There's really no real grip down into there. There's not a whole lot of downsides to the MDT product other than that right there and the price. These suckers are, I think, for the cheapest. The single pull is something like $500 to $700. This is the double pull. This is $700, $800. The triple pulls are $1,000 or more. I'm guesstimating. I'll put the actual prices on the screen. Like, that's an insane amount of money for a bipod. And as you can see, that extra money is not buying you tighter groups necessarily. This shot basically the same groups as all the rest of these bipods did in terms of accuracy. What this really gets you is the ability in the field to manipulate this bipod in so many different ways. The beauty of the MDT is that it has so much adjustment, and even though it has all that adjustment, it stays pretty rigid. So that's nice, right? Like, if you look at all the things that this thing can do, right? Like we've got a number of different adjustments in terms of kind of the height of it. Like, this is a narrow one, clearly. You can just push that button and widen it out to there, or you can splay it out one more time and make it really wide like I did. You've got kind of a barricade stop built in here to the back, which, I have it turned around backwards right now because it's the only way it would fit with the Picatinny rail. So usually this is the other way around, and you can use this as a barricade stop. On the feet, you just pull out, and there's lines, notched lines along here, and it won't slide back in until you push the buttons and manually slide them back in. So that's really nice if you have to sit and get up over some grass or something. And if you've got a really wide rock where you need, this thing needs to be extended completely out, and this one needs to be, up on a rock over here on this side, angled forward or something, like really weird. Like, that's the beauty of the MDT, is that you can do all kinds of different configurations and angles. And of course, you've got the ability to cant and to rotate side to side as well on these, which I don't usually do. I just crank that thing down and leave it. But man, all the adjustability, just also the main downside is that it's all the price. So I I just wanted to kind of redo this video. I did a video some years ago that really only had 3 different bipod choices, or 4 maybe. I can't even remember, but if you want to go back like 3 or 4 years, you can find that video on the channel. But I have a lot more bipods accumulated now and wanted to throw this video out to you guys. And I don't know what takeaways really that you can come away from this with, just that I think you could spend anywhere from $125, $150 on a Harris, you know, all the way up to $700, $800 on an MDT Ckyepod, and you're going to shoot the same groups for the most part, right? Now you get positional out in the field, and all of a sudden you have to be on this weird rock and on this tree limb and on this thing, and your Harris won't allow you to use your bipod in any way for stability, but the MDT might. So that's where it comes, that's where the difference comes in, right? Most of these are kind of set up in such a way that you deploy them. It's meant for flat surfaces, and that's it, because the vast majority of when you're shooting long range is off your belly. But that's not always true, right? Actually, shots taken in the field are more often taken positionally, and that's where the MDT kind of shines. And so I'm not saying one is necessarily better than another. It's just options, and the one with the most options is going to cost you the most money, and ones that are very simple and simplistic and don't have a lot of options, really made for one thing and one thing only, aren't going to cost you that much money. Most people choose something in the middle, understanding that you get some adjustability, you get some options for a middle of the road price range. Take it or leave it, I guess. Guys, thanks for watching Precision Rifle Network today. Make sure and hit up the description below the video. Look for the link that goes to my website, which has all of the sponsored kind of coupon codes and discounts and all the links. You definitely want to go over there, check it out, because there's some sweet deals from people like Axel Hearing Protection, which I was using the X cores today, and you can use PRN 15 on there, PRN 10 at MK Machining and Coltac. There's a few others, Graybow. You got stuff from Brownells. Guys, you got stuff from all kinds of companies, so you definitely want to go over and check that out. Another shout out to our title sponsor of the channel, and that is Arkin Optics. Check them out. They're doing some good things over there. And stay tuned for another great video from Precision Rifle Network.